So this is a demonstration about how to do command line export and import of data from Visual Builder Cloud Service. We have a little application where we can go in and put in information about employees and salaries. Okay. So as we build this, the data is stored inside a custom object inside the business component, inside Visual Builder Cloud Service. And if we actually go, we have in the business objects an object called employee. Now what happens if we actually want to export this data to an external system? Okay, and this is actually quite easy today using a command line. Okay, so let me copy the command line. This is the command line that we're going to use and issue it from here. So curl basically goes over and execute a REST call. Okay, we're passing in the username, we're passing in a URL. Okay, the URL is to the design environment of the name of the application. We're currently at version 1, and then we're using the resources data manager export command, and we're putting it into an exp.zip file. Okay, so let's execute this. We need to provide a password. And we're done. So let's see what we have in the directory now. We have an exp.zip file. Okay, here we go. This is the directory just created, and we can double click on it. Okay, and this would extract the file in there, which is the employee CSV file. If we double click on this one, we can edit this file using Excel. So we can see the two records that were in there available for us here. So now we can modify this file. So for example, let's copy this line, paste it here, change the ID to be 3, and add another employee, call him Max, giving a different salary. Can also update one of the records here, like that. And let's save the data. Okay, and we can now go back into our command line interface. Okay, and now we're going to use a similar curl command that is going to do an update. Now, before we actually do an update, we need to enable on our application the use of the REST services. So if you go into application settings, under security, you want to enable basic authentication for business object REST API. Okay. All right, so now we can go back into our business object. This is the current data in here, okay, the two records. And now we're going to take the command line here. This is a bit more of a complex command, and we're going to issue it from here. Okay, so again, using curl, we're using a post command now, passing the username, using the same instance of the application, so the design environment still, expimp, version, resource, data manager, and then now we're doing an import. Now we're going to specify into which object we're importing. So employee is the name of the object here, and we're going to specify which file are we importing. So this is the file that we just extracted, the employee CSV. Now, right now in the current version, we also need to prevent CORS, and the way to do it is to provide an origin in the header, which is the same server as the server that you're on. Okay, we need to indicate that the content is a text CSV file and then attach the CSV file. -v just gives us the logging. So let's run this. Again, we need to provide the password. And okay, it seems that it finished. Let's go over here and refresh the data. And now we have the updated data and the new record. All right, so we just saw how this works from a command line. Now, if you actually go over and you do the next stages in your application, which are stage, okay, and we'll populate with the stage data. And then let's publish our application. And this time we'll publish with a clean database, actually. So now we have a production version of our application. So if we run the production version in this window, okay, we'll basically get an empty screen because there are no employee data in there. What we can do now is use, again, the command line to import the data. So copy this command line into here. Let's clear this just to make it clearer. And again, we're using the post command, same username, same URL with one change. Now we're using deployment here instead of the design that we're using before. Okay, and we're issuing the command. Now, before we can actually update the data, we actually need to lock the application. Okay, so go back to the home page. This is the application in live mode, and over here you can lock the application. Okay, like that. Application is now locked. No other user can update the data. We're going to issue the command. Okay, and now we can unlock the application. Okay, let's look at the application now. Refresh. And voila, we have the data that we just filled out available for us in here. So this was a quick demonstration of how to do an export and import from a command line into a VBCS application.